Pope Francis has celebrated one of his biggest masses in the Democratic Republic of Congo. It is more than 37 years since the Pope visited the mineral-rich but conflict-ridden country. Estimates say around 1 million people gathered for the open-air mass on the second of the Pontiff's 6-day visit to Africa.
Around half of DR Congo's population is Catholic, the largest Catholic community in Africa. Speaking at the Mass, the Catholic leader called for peace in DR Congo, urging warring sides to forgive one another.
We are in front of the sun that we cannot stare at. Let's move forward with confidence to the throne of grace.
He went on to espouse the benefits of cleansing one another's heart of anger and remorse, of every trace of resentment and hostility. Wednesday's Mass was tipped to be one of the Pope's largest ever masses, second only to one held in the Philippines in 2014.
Bana Congo Democratique, Bana Kinshasa, Boboto.
Earlier, Pope Francis delivered a stinging condemnation of what he described as century-long exploitation of mineral-rich countries in Africa. His communication was partly in reference to the greed that has recently been seen in the Democratic Republic of Congo. He decried the over 7 million people that are estimated to have been killed in conflict here over the past 30 years.
This country and this continent deserve to be respected and listened to. They deserve to find space and receive attention. Hands off the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Hands off Africa. Stop choking Africa. Africa is not a mine to be stripped or a terrain to be plundered. May Africa be the protagonist of its own destiny.
It is a trip which was originally set to happen last year, 2022. The Pope had planned to visit the east of this vast country where the worst of the violence rages and where millions have been displaced. The Pope is also scheduled to visit the Republic of South Sudan.
Now, the government of Uganda has earmarked a compensation package of 17 million to relocate people settled in landslide-prone areas in Elgon region. The affected persons are expected to use that money to relocate to areas of their choice.
This marks a shift from the earlier approach where affected persons were relocated to locations identified by government. These included Kiryandongo district and Bunambutie in Bulambuli district. Prime Minister Robina Nabanja, following up on the cabinet directive, met with members of parliament and local government leaders from Elgon sub-region to set the relocation exercise schedule.
The president directed me to come up with a strategy of how we can evacuate people quickly to avoid a occurrence of a similar thing that happened in Mbale. Do you remember Mbale and these other areas surrounding, including the city, where we lost a number of people? So cabinet made a decision that we give a package in addition to that of give directly. Those of you who were with me in Bududa can bear me witness. Who in Bududa, remember? Yes. And the Give Directory decided that they are going to give us 7 million per homestead. So the president said that money is not enough for people to move and settle. So we agreed as cabinet that let us give them an additional 10 million. And that made it 17. So the process of making sure that these people are relocated is on.
Nabanja emphasized that vacating landslide-prone areas will be voluntary. The process will start with those willing to accept compensation of 17 million shillings per landlord.
Those affected families Those that you know really, even when you don't give them anything, can move. You understand what I'm talking about? For dear life, those who are really, who are supposed to save their life, those are the ones who are starting with. Because remember, even Kasese is complaining. Kasese, after you, we shall definitely go to Kasese. But we thought, let us start with where? With Mount Elgon.
Leaders in the respective districts in the Elgon sub-region were urged to speak with one voice and sensitize the affected persons to relocate as a matter of urgency.
This support which government of Uganda is extending, the 17 million, as compensation for people to move from those dangerous, risky areas. When we talk about planting trees, let's emphasize that it's going to be government's role.
We can work with the districts because they have the accurate numbers of the affected people. Otherwise, I want to thank you for the offer, and I want to state that the people who district as a whole, and the people of Bungoho Central in particular, are very ready for the offer.
I want to thank you for the decision that you made when you brought this paper to cabinet. To give people money such that they have the freedom to buy land and set where they want.
The Minister for Tourism, Tom Butime, cautioned against politicking the relocation exercise.
Let us forget the matter of voting and concentrate on the lives of those people.
It was resolved that those who reject the compensation fee of 17 million shillings and are still at high-risk areas will be forcefully evicted. After everyone has vacated the land, an environment impact assessment will be conducted to facilitate the gazettement of the land. Dorcas Kimono, UBC TV News.
Now, the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, has tasked its member states to work hard to minimize conflicts if they are to realize better development in the Horn of Africa. Executive Secretary, IGAD, Dr. Owokne Gebeyehu, says man-made conflicts like wars and terrorism coupled with natural disasters like drought, floods and pandemics have continued hindering Africa from development. He made the remarks while addressing the third annual State of the Region meeting in Mombasa, Kenya.
The Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, that was formed in 1984, is a body of 8 member states, namely Djibouti, Ethiopia, Kenya, Somalia, South Sudan, Sudan, and Uganda. Although it was formed to help member states to enhance regional integration and mitigate environmental disasters, a meeting on the state of regional affairs held in Mombasa, Kenya, found out that conflicts such as wars and terrorism continue to frustrate progress. The war in Ethiopia's Tigray, military takeover in Sudan, internal conflicts in South Sudan, and the terror attacks on Somalia are some of the conflicts.
In 2023, Your Excellencies, IGAD is determined to ride the wind of peace that has been sweeping across our region and promise to continue working tirelessly to resolve the remaining very important challenges that the region is facing. We cannot be peaceful if all of us are not peaceful.
Natural disasters like the drought and floods that in the last 2 years have displaced more than 2 million people in IGAD member states are some of the disturbing issues undermining development.
2021-2022 were some of the most challenging years in the history of the region. It was one of the hottest, driest and most conflict-affected period for our region in recent memory. Rising the challenges, IGAD worked diligently to respond to the challenges posed by the global pandemic, climate change, the persistent drought, post-invasion and seasonal flooding, all of which combined contributed to their regional food security situation. Let me start with the prolonged drought. Our region remains a grip of relentless drought that has lasted the past 2 years. Now, as we go into 2023, the outlook is still worrisome.
Meanwhile, according to the Executive Secretary of IGAD, progress has so far been made in the peaceful electoral processes in member states, including in Kenya and Uganda, and fighting Al-Shabaab in Somalia.
The IGAD region peacefully and successfully navigated a 2-year election cycle that ran from 2021 to 2022 in 5 out of 7 our member states. These include elections in Kenya, Uganda, Djibouti, Ethiopia, Somalia. These are the countries which conducted election. Out of 7 member states, we did within 2 years, 5 of our member states did election. This peaceful election demonstrates the growing regional commitment to the democratic process and the principle of, most importantly, constitutionality. Let us agree that elections are very significant component of peace and stability. But nevertheless, they remain only one of the many contributing elements to the regional stability equation.
Although challenges are everywhere in the world, but for Africa, it's beyond. According to IGAD, most of Africa's challenges are man-made, and if it can be avoided, Africa has potential for development. Philip Aguta, UBC News in Mombasa, Kenya.
Now, government agencies are partnering with non-government organizations to implement post-COVID-19 recovery programs in order to address the economic impact. Makerere University School of Public Health, Uganda AIDS Commission, Ministry of Health, AfriSlam Uganda are collaborating with the University of Waterloo to conduct a slum study aimed at informing policies for COVID-19 recovery programs among the urban poor.
27-year-old Katsabe Maureen is a resident of Kagugube village, one of the slums in Kampala. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, Katsabe was smoothly running her fish selling business. However, due to lockdown restrictions that were imposed to contain the spread of COVID-19, her business collapsed and she is just starting afresh.
Era mu covid oyo kugamba ekigambo ky'emmere kyansumbuwa nnyo ate nali lubuto nga ntambula ne bucket njeetise ku mutwe okuva eri gye mbisuubula mpaka wano kati ebiseera byatuuka ne batutera boda abakyala b'embuto ne tubeera nga tutambula.
Women like Katsabe are yet to benefit from the Women Race COVID-19 slum study that seeks to highlight the need for gender-inclusive COVID-19 recovery programs for the urban poor. The 2-year research project is implemented by Makerere University School of Public Health, Uganda AIDS Commission, Ministry of Health, AfriSlam Uganda, in collaboration with the University of Waterloo.
Programs and policies that should be developed or that we shall inform will be inclusive, gender transformative, and sustainable for the urban poor. Why?
The Commissioner Disease Control in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Patrick Tumusime, is optimistic that the research study will enable program implementers to plan together with the local people in slums on how they can improve their health conditions.
We have come a long way, so it is not too late. This one is an effort that is going to add on and enrich our programming for recovery. This study will help us to identify the real issues that the community and the vulnerable groups like the women are grappling with as they recover from COVID.
The Women Race COVID-19 slum study will be conducted in the 3 slums of Kagugube and Chitintale Zone 12 in Kampala and Namatala slum in Nimbale City to analyze the impact of COVID-19 on employment, economic status and HIV risk vulnerability among women living in informal settlements. Mary Namkose, Robert Katamba, UBC News.
Meanwhile, State Minister for Water and Environment Beatrice Anywa has called upon Uganda to rally behind the cause of ending wetland degradation in order to preserve the country's ecosystems. The minister was speaking to the media at Uganda Media Center ahead of the World Wetlands Day to be marked in Soroti this Thursday.
Every 2nd of February, the world commemorates the contributions of wetlands towards maintenance of ecosystem. While addressing journalists at Uganda Media Center, the Minister of State for Water and Environment, Beatrice Atima, said Uganda will join the rest of the world to commemorate this day in Soroti District.
In February 23, which is tomorrow, Uganda will join the rest of the global community to celebrate the World Wetlands Day. And this is the 52nd anniversary of signing the Ramsar Convention on the Protection of Wetlands.
The minister urged the public to rally behind the environmental restoration campaign to preserve wetlands.
Ladies and gentlemen, wetlands in Uganda registered a decline in their coverage from 15.6% in 1994 to 13% in 2015. Only 8.9% of the 13% was intact, and over 4.1% already degraded. Friends, today I challenge you to be part of the fight against this impunity, especially you, the media.
On the same note, health experts are concerned about the increasing cases of antimicrobial resistance, which pose a serious danger to humans. The World Health Organization representative in Uganda, Dr. Jonas, notes that the changing patterns in disease resistance has not only affected humans but also in animals.
Basically, we see antimicrobial resistance increasing. For example, we see a multiple drug resistant in TB developing more and more. Unfortunately, 50 to 80% of these people are also suffering from HIV/AIDS. Every time we get resistance, we go into the second class of antibiotics. If we were able to treat TB at a single day course for 1,000 shillings, when we go into the second line of drugs, we are talking about this going to 20 times more expensive.
Sada Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
Now, the State Minister for Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, David Bahati, has implored the Indian business community to consider establishing industries here in Uganda. This as opposed to operating warehouses and distribution centers of finished products imported from their countries of origin. Bahati says this will go a long way in supporting the import substitution and export promotion policy that aims at, among others, facilitating industrial development, thus encouraging economic development.
The Indian community is one of the leading entrepreneurs in retail sector in Uganda, as majority operate warehouses and distribution centers for a wide range of import goods, especially for real estate development, hospitality, education and manufacturing sectors. The Indian High Commissioner to Uganda, Ajay Kumar, attributes this to the inbuilt spirit of wanting to associate with quality goods and services.
India is now offering a large range of products, a very high quality product which can be afforded for by African market. And one best example is this company. They have been there, they started in 1960, and in last 50-60 years they have established as a world leader in this category. And all these years they have not compromised on quality.
The State Minister for Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, David Bahati, now proposes that business communities such as Indians should consider setting up industries in Uganda.
With Jaguar, you can know that I buy something, it's affordable, it's of quality and durable. So now that they have a footprint in the country, but obviously we have so many raw materials in the country that can be used to produce these products, and we know that this is just the beginning of entry into the market.
The Indian High Commissioner pledged commitment to pursue the matter. After all, it is a win-win deal.
I think with increasing globalization, there is a need for quality products backed up with service and competitive pricing. And as His Excellency and Honorable Minister mentioned, we stand committed to giving that, and this showroom is a step towards that. I'm sure, as market grows and market evolves, we'll continue to invest more and more in the global market, especially in Uganda, which is a very, very important market for us.
If the market size is sufficiently big, then they will look at the next level as whether they can invest in manufacturing that local market.
Dorcas Kimono, UBC TV News.
Government has been asked to increase the number of skilled alternative dispute resolution practitioners to raise the standard of commercial arbitration and mediation services. Now, this has been disclosed at training of arbitration and mediators at Makerere University Business School, Nakawa, by the Arbitration and Mediation Society of Uganda, where students and tutors received certificates of competence. Francis Dungo, a trainer, arbitration and mediation, attributed the case backlogs in courts of law to lack of mediators and arbitrators in the country.
Land and other related disputes can turn increasingly violent and may result in some population displacement, loss of lives among others, if not tackled in time. The rising conflicts among Ugandans can, however, be overcome through arbitration and mediation in resolving commercial disputes.
But with Uganda, we have very few trained mediators. We have very, very few trained arbitration practitioners. So this is a need. As much as the disputes are increasing, do we have the professionals who can actually handle this demand? So everybody tries to rush to courts, but courts cannot take up all these cases. Some courts do not even reach deep down in the villages.
The Mediation Society of Uganda Director Francis Dungu said members can now access networking opportunities. She was speaking at the awarding of certificates to trainees in arbitration and mediation at Makerere University Business School.
The advantage which we have working with Makerere University Business School is that they've got campuses all over the country. This training, AMSU and MOBS are going to be delivering it all over the country, such that whether you are in Ibundibujo or whether you are in Arua, whether you are in Imbali, there is a university over there, which MOBS is a center, and the training will be delivered.
The principal, Makerere University Business School, Wasobarunywa, said mediation is structured on an interactive process where an impartial third party can mediate between the conflicting parties.
Sit down and resolve issues. So when I was told about mediation as a training, I said, I think this is the right thing. And like Diana said, when there's a new idea, I want to sign on, and we see how it goes. Not everything succeeds. We've had many wonderful ideas. They've not succeeded, but many of them have succeeded also. And I believe this is an area where we definitely need training or awareness, and we are on the right track.
The trainees were equipped with mediation and conflict resolution theories, choosing a mediation strategy, gathering relevant information, developing mediation plans, among others. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
The Arlington Academy of Hope has unveiled plans to uplift education standards in Bududa district by establishing an international secondary vocational school. The initiative is funded by United States Agency for International Development and their founder, the United States best Ugandan John Wanda, at close to 23 billion shillings. The multi-billion education project has been unveiled during site verification at Chiholo Trading Center, Bududa district, where you said representatives, Arlington Academy and district leadership inspected a site where the school is set to be established.
Arlington Academy of Hope is a non-profit organization working with its donors, sponsors, and partner organizations in the United States of America, basing in rural eastern region of Uganda, specifically in Bumwalukani, Bududa district. The founder of this project, John Wanda, appeals to the need for more secondary and vocational skills in the district to impact its students with skills, as well as improving the education system in the district.
We made an application to USAID for partial funding. They have given us a grant of $800,000 to begin at the secondary school. We have raised the funds to start that project, but today we are in that fundraising phase. We need the money to build a quad secondary school, and if we do so, that school will produce the best, will take the best students from the region and across the country, but also produce students who are holistic in nature, not just academic students, but professionally qualified students, not just in IT, but in other skills as well.
After grappling with natural calamities like landslides that have crippled the education performance, Bududa district is said to get an international secondary vacation school to be constructed by Arlington Academy of Hope with funding from United States Agency for International Development. The development has been unveiled by Arlington Academy of Hope authorities during site verification at Chiholo Town Council, Bududa District, where the school is to be constructed. The Director Secondary School Planning, Arlington Academy, Phoebe Luwango, revealed that 23 billion Ugandan shilling school is set to uplift academic standards in Bududa District.
And this school is supposed to take off in March. So when this program takes shape and they approve the program, we are happy we are going to have a secondary school, which is going to help the model primary school, which we have already had.
The Chief Operating Officer, Arlington Junior School, Kamot Nelson, explained that Arlington Academy is currently sponsoring over 300 students at the secondary level.
Students, when they finish, we sponsor them to different secondary schools in Uganda.
Bududa district has not academically performed to its expectations in comparison to other districts. The Senior Education Officer, Bududa district, Matanda Vincent, acknowledged that with sponsorship of students, Arlington Academy has greatly uplifted the education standards in the district.
Arlington itself has improved the performance and also impacted other schools under its outreach programs, and it is through that we have had an improvement in those schools that have been aligned to Arlington.
The Bududa District Chairperson, Kamot Sungui, revealed that Bududa District local government has embraced Arlington Academy program that is geared at improving academic performance.
The program is going to empower the community. First of all, business is going to improve in terms of incomes. The road network will also be improved in this district. There will be power supply in most of the areas here, and also water supply. So we believe that our community are going to benefit.
Justin Nakami, Tanaba Kenneth, for UBC News.
Lake Albert shoreline residents have received 4,000 free mosquito nets and mama kits from a non-governmental organization in the fight against malaria. The residents of Chisumuka sub-county in Hoima district have been helped by Think Humanity, a non-governmental organization.
Expectant mothers, children and elderly persons in over 4,000 households in two parishes of Kabatindura and Bukona in Chisukuma sub-county Hoima district have received mosquito nets and over 100 delivery kits from Think Humanity, a non-government organization. Annette Tumusime and other residents say many children have died and many expectant mothers have had miscarriages because of malaria.
You hear that we are going to bury a child who was dead from malaria. That is true. And abortion is because of malaria.
Janet Kusima says that malaria has drained their incomes, yet they are living a peasant life.
Mothers plus our children, you find that when they go to the hospital, the number increases at any time. And
although government a few years ago supplied nets across the country, residents in this community say we are not enough to cater for all beds.
You wrote 5 beds and you need 5 mosquito nets. Then they give you 3 to remain.
The distribution of free mosquito nets by Think Humanity follows a petition by local leaders led by Steve Murungi Mujakubi seeking support in the fight against malaria.
Sure they sleep under them so that we fight this killer malaria, which is caused by Anopheles mosquito, basically a female Anopheles mosquito, which keep on carrying malaria and cause danger to the lives of the children, to the lives of the mothers, and this goes into the pocket of the husbands.
Chisukuma Sub-County Chairperson, Local Council 3, Yowasi Tabura, called on the public to properly use mosquito nets to fight against malaria. According to Think Humanity Healthcare Manager Pascal Mbajesti, their campaign is aimed at eradicating malaria among expectant mothers, children under the age of 5, and the elderly.
For very many years, since 2007, we've given water like in Bukona Seal 2 wells. We are also constructing other wells in Bugambe.
And over 70,000 youth have completed training in construction, tourism and agriculture by Uganda Rural Development and Training Program in partnership with Young African Works Uganda, sponsored by MasterCard Foundation. The trainees include young women, persons living with disabilities, refugees, entrepreneurs and graduates with employable skills.
Young Africa Works Uganda, based at Uganda Rural Development and Training Program, Kagadi District, is conducting a 5-year program of imparting skills to the youth, which started in 2020 through the Office of the Prime Minister. The project covers 20 districts of mid-western Uganda, including refugee settlement camps of Chaka 2, Ramwaja, Changwari and Chiriandongo.
Train welders, we train bricklayers, motorcycle mechanics, motor vehicle mechanics, plumbers, domestic electricians.
The successful youth were awarded certificates in agriculture, carpentry, mechanics, tailoring, hairdressing and so on.
Projects I'm running at home through the little amount I'm getting from this program of training. And the
URDT Institute was formed by Dr. Mwalimu Mosheshe in 1993 as a vocational institute, and since its inception has trained youth in hands-on skills, enabling young women and men of Africa to have dignified work.
And with that, we take a quick break. We return with more details.
To transport to the wrong person. Here's how to reverse it with MTN Mobile Money. Dial *165#. Select My Account. Select Initiate Reversal. You will see your last 3 transactions. Select the transaction you want to reverse. Enter your mobile money PIN and you'll get an SMS confirmation that the transaction has been blocked from being withdrawn. And that's it. Please note, only transactions that haven't been withdrawn can be reversed.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing germs. This message is from the National Hand Washing Secretariat with support from UNICEF.
Okay, so this receipt, okay, plus this one equals,
Keeping up with your transaction history the old way.
1,000. Okay, I got this. No, I don't. Okay, maybe if I can just...
Keeping up with your transaction history with the My Airtel app. You have the power in your pocket. The power to keep an eye on your transaction history. Unlock that power with the My Airtel app. Visit the App Store or Google Play now.
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Bara and Jinja.
Did you know that you can safely and conveniently make your school fees payment anytime, any school, anywhere using Airtel Money? Oh yes! Simply pick up your phone and dial *185#. Select option 6, school fees. Choose between school pay, peg pay, or shore pay. Enter student number. Enter amount, confirm name and transaction. Enter Airtel Money PIN. A confirmation message will be sent to you upon a successful transaction. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello? Hello?
This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Hey, Kasozi, my brother. Long time. We last met when we were at campus. It's been a while, but you are the person I'm looking for.
Campus? Really?
Hey! You don't remember me?
Okay, so how can I help you?
I'm stuck in Gulu making millions and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother. But I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the money to your phone, as you can see the message. It might take a few minutes to come through, but I urgently need you to send the money to my mother. Let me send you her number and you send it to her chap.
My friend, I'm afraid your mom is going to die.
What?
Because I don't know you, I never went to campus, and I'm also in Gulu. So can we meet at CPS, we talk about it? Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next.
Tofera. Refrain from unnecessary engagements with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
It's super fast internet. Oh, it's a super camera. It's a super battery.
Phone battery full.
Yeah, it's a super deal. Get the Capote Super from MTN now at a reduced initial deposit of only 49,000 shillings and pay the balance in Pola for as low as 833 shillings per day. Grab this Super Capote deal this Christmas and get 2 GB of free MTN data every month for 8 months. Get the Capote Super now from any MTN shop countrywide. Everywhere you go, MTN.
Regulated by UCC.
Welcome back. You are still watching News Tonight. The leadership of General Muhoozi Kainerugaba Movement Army have maintained that there is no friction between them and the NRM party since their objective is supplementary. This follows their meeting at the NRM Secretariat, which was chaired by the National Vice Chairperson NRM Alhaji Moses Chigongo.
On Tuesday, 31st January 2023, the National Vice Chairperson NRM Alhaji Moses Chigongo interacted with the leadership of General MK Army.
If you have come to give support to the NRM, you are most welcome. Thank you, sir. We don't want the NRM to get divided. We must work together, all of us.
The visiting team was led by Michael Mawanda, Member of Parliament for Igara East, who also serves as their chairperson.
We started promoting our brother, our friend, Muhoozi Kainerugaba, to prepare him for future opportunities. That is, if he feels interested in politics, so that we can prepare him for the leadership.
Mawanda gives us the concept of the Tuesday meeting.
And we agreed to work together in the implementation of the NRM manifesto, because we still have a serving government which was democratically elected by the people.
He and other members, however, notes that their objectives are not against the NRM ideology or principles, but rather supplementing on their mandate.
We are not at war with NRM because it is our party.
We did not go there to endorse. We went there to work together in the implementation of the manifesto. Because as we were moving around, we found their challenges with service delivery, corruption, absenteeism. So all these things wanted to bring them the attention of the secretariat, which we did.
Apart from mobilizing the youth for talent development, the team is also recruiting political manpower, especially from the opposition side.
We are demobilizing the opposition, which we have successfully done. We are trying to provide a sanctuary, a home for those youth who don't belong to any political party and those who had gone to opposition thinking that their future lied in the what? In the opposition, which they have found out is not the case. So we have brought all these people together.
The MK Army, however, still insists there is no witch hunt against the NRM structures, but rather giving a reminder that time has come for the next generation to take on the mantle.
We pledged our allegiance to the president and we promised we shall support him till the end of his term. And we have also informed the leaders that we have identified and we have someone who's leading us, who's already taken on, and we requested for their support and guidance in that regard.
Although 2026 general polls are a bit far, however, the political arena looks charged as all interested parties are getting set. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
And Parliament has advised government to consider revising the staff structure and recruitment at Uganda's Civil Aviation Authority if it is to reduce the corruption tendencies eating up the aviation sector in Uganda. This follows an update by the Minister for Works and Transport, Katumba Wamala, on the government interventions over the recent exposed corruption scandals at Entebbe International Airport. Katumba Wamala told Parliament that some of the staff implicated have been charged, while those who have stayed at the airport for long have been transferred to different fields.
The Minister for Works and Transport, General Edward Katumba Wamala, has updated Parliament on the operations of Civil Aviation Authority in Entebbe following the recent outcry by a section of Ugandans who through the social media shared various concerns regarding allegations of corruption tendencies eating up the staffs at Uganda's oldest international airport.
A joint investigation team was set up to ensure that all cases and complaints are well investigated for appropriate action. Actually, even the investigation team from President's office has taken up this matter. Been there for more than 15 years. The labor desk has been removed from Entebbe International Airport.
The MPs said the use of social media was a blessing in disguise since it has supported in making of informal decisions.
Money from the toll gate is not declared, is not clear. So there is corruption from the management, from the top management, right, Honorable Speaker.
Until you deal with the deep-rooted, institutionalized corruption in this country, we are just scratching.
Minister Katumba Wamala told Parliament that a joint team of security will continue investigations to further improve management of the airport services. Wamala said that some staffs who have overstayed at the airport have been withdrawn and those implicated in the scandals are facing the dark side of the law.
Engagement meetings were held with the various agencies that serve at Entebbe International Airport to harmonize operations of the different stakeholders on departure with a view of ensuring that some functions are merged and handled more efficiently.
The MPs advised government to consider revising the staff structure at CAA, which they allege tops the causes of corruption tendencies in the aviation line.
I got from some people when they're saying, you see guys working with the URA, they get a lot of money than them, and yet they are working at the same airport. Some of them are getting less money. So issues of the welfare of the staff that are at the airport need to be looked into.
On a similar incident, members of Parliament have expressed dissatisfaction over the corruption in Uganda police forces, which is alleged to have led to mishandling of the police savings scheme.
And as per that, Mr. Speaker,
most police force officers, the men of the Uganda Police Force, who are members of Exodus, are there as slaves.
But Right Honorable Speaker, the recommendation that we made then, as the Inspectorate of Government, was to abolish this savings scheme because it was not benefiting the majority of the police officers, apart from the top-ranking police officers who were actually getting this money, borrowing at a low interest rate.
This also followed a statement by the Minister of State for Internal Affairs, David Muhoozi, who was also responding to queries by Busia Municipality Member of Parliament, Geoffrey Macho, who questioned the operations of police savings scheme recently.
The contributed money remains members' money, members' savings, whichever way you look at it. And the circle needs to ensure further mobilization of members to inculcate the virtues of saving as opposed to living by the day, whatever their savings.
The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, has referred the matter to the Committee of Internal Affairs for further investigations.
And they can call on other members, especially those with interest, to come in and support on most of these matters. So since the House sounds dissatisfied with the response by the Minister, I'm referring it to the Committee on Internal Affairs.
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gutabinji, UBC News.
Get the most affordable 4G smartphone in Uganda from Airtel. Now heavily discounted from 250,000 shillings to 150,000 shillings only. Yes, 150,000 shillings only to keep you connected to your loved ones.
Dial *175*94# to activate free 1 GB instantly and 100% double data on all weekly and monthly bundles for 3 months. Get one today while stock lasts from the nearest Airtel shop. With Airtel, the smartphone network.
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Mbara and Jinja.
And on business, Uganda Alcohol Industry Association has launched a code of business conduct to enable the creation of safeguards in the purchase, supply, sale and consumption of alcoholic beverages by consumers. The code also aims at promoting self-regulation by manufacturers and addressing the issue of illicit alcohol production in the sector.
Uganda loses approximately 1.6 trillion shillings annually due to the evasion of tax payment through the production and sale of illicit alcohol. This is according to Euromonitor Illicit Alcohol Trade Report 2021. This has prompted the release of a Code of Business Conduct by Uganda Alcohol Industry Association in a bid to create safeguards for the sale, purchase and supply of alcoholic beverages.
In this space, we've talked about penalties to do with intoxication, disorderly behavior, all of which obviously we don't subscribe to. We have highlighted as much as possible, of course not everything can be in one document, but all the antisocial behaviors we believe that would be perilous to the population of Uganda. And we have put down mitigations and already, as I've mentioned, penalties for the same.
The code, which applies to all members and partners of the association, further aims at promoting self-regulation of manufactured alcoholic beverages in a bid to widen the industry's market access.
This industry, it would directly give us a lot of employment, more than it has given before. So it is something that is reducing the burden of employment. It is something that is building a lot of the incomes in people's pockets, It is building our economy, thus building our infrastructure, where we generate money to get roads, to get what. It is something that needs to be protected.
Our market, local market, is getting saturated. You may not make the money you wish here unless you get out of our border. So embedding standards in your businesses and production facilities is key, because the opportunity is now enormous to access other markets.
Government has been called upon to join the fight of sensitizing the general public in regards to illicit alcohol consumption and also work towards formalizing the sector.
People do not know that illicit is actually the cause of abuse, the cause of indiscipline, the cause of smuggling. There is counterfeiting. All these challenges need to be addressed.
The alcohol industry contributes about 38.7% to the country's tax base. Charlotte Amuge and Dennis Igoa for UBC News.
The State Minister for Finance, Henry Musasizi, has urged the manufacturing sector to take the front seat in driving Uganda's post-COVID recovery. At the commissioning of Uganda Brewery's new production line, Musasizi encouraged the uptake of local raw materials to promote local manufacturing towards import substitution and export promotion.
Uganda Breweries has commissioned a 39.9 billion shillings production line that will increase the brewery's production capacity to 30,330 ml bottles per hour and 25,500 ml bottles per hour, averaging best-in-class efficiency of 94%. At the commissioning of the plant, Henry Musasizi, the State Minister of Finance General Duties, encouraged the uptake of local raw materials in order to substitute imports.
The investment way back in 2013 had, I don't know how many lines, but you had less than 30 products. Now you have over 50 products. It means you have been greatly improving on your investment. And most importantly, the import substitution, ensuring that we produce from here, both for the local markets and the export market, and ensuring that we use the products which, the raw material which is produced within Uganda, particularly Chigezi, where I represent.
The new line brings UBL's total capital expenditure in Uganda to over 7.8 trillion shillings since the brewer commenced operations in 1946, and it has since grown to become one of the country's top 5 taxpayers, contributing at least 430 billion shillings in taxes annually.
We are proud to be at the forefront of the Build Uganda, Buy Uganda agenda, the BUBU agenda. Through our grain to glass agenda, we are also working with traders, businessmen, to upskill them through our Skills for Life programs.
The faster and the sooner our manufacturers, processors, exporters appreciate that they need quality standards more than the regulator, I think the better for this country, the better for the minister to get the much needed exports.
The output from Uganda's manufacturing sector was $6.6 billion in 2021, a 12.15% increase from 2020, and the sector employs more than 1.3 million people, contributing 18.6% of the nation's GDP, 19% of the total exports, and 14% of the tax revenue collections. Dennis Igoa for UBC Business.
The most affordable 4G smartphone in Uganda from Airtel. Now heavily discounted from 250,000 shillings to 150,000 shillings only. Yes, 150,000 shillings only to keep you connected to your loved ones.
Dial *175*94# to activate free 1 GB instantly and 100% double data on all weekly and monthly bundles for 3 months. Get one today while stock lasts from the nearest Airtel shop. With Airtel, the smartphone network.
Sports Uganda Modern Pentathlon Federation is running a level 1 training for pentathlon coaches in a bid to grow the popularity and expand the reach of the sport in Uganda. The training is tackling various aspects of the sport, including participation guidelines, officiating rules, player grading, among others. The training, rather 15 coaches are undergoing this training at Kampala Parent School, which commenced at the end of last month and will conclude on Saturday this week.
Officially introduced in Uganda in 2017, the pentathlon sport has not had much success in spreading its wings across the country. But the story is changing now. The Uganda Modern Pentathlon Federation, together with the International Pentathlon Federation and the Uganda Olympic Committee, has launched a level 1 training course for the 5-discipline sport.
Fencing, running, shooting, and obstacle. Obstacles are these things you see like ninja warriors. That is what they are changing now, but it used to be horse riding. So one athlete has to play these 5 games on the same day and within 90 minutes. So the sport was already there. It is COVID which took us back. Those 2 years, and then the whole of last year we spent trying to reorganize ourselves. But this year we have started with this to train the coaches, because the coaches are the base of the activity. And then after the coaches, then when we have the coaches, we shall deploy them now to start expanding the game in the different schools, communities, and the rest of it.
Modern pentathlete Yassa Muhammad from Egypt is spearheading the training that has attracted 15 coaches across the 5 disciplines. The training will help the coaches to better their understanding of the sport and its technicalities before they embark on rolling it out in the communities.
I'm pretty sure by the end of this week, many of us will at least be having a good understanding of the sport, so to ensure that as a country we are equipped both with the knowledge and at the same time with the necessary information to ensure that we take this sport forward. Because we have the talent, we are getting the opportunities of the technical people, that we start having the competitions happening.
The 5-day training commenced yesterday, the 31st of January 2023 at the Kampala Parent School and will go on till the 4th of February 2023. Grace Joyce Kemgisa and Manzi Daniel, UBC News.
Uganda Netball Federation President's allegations of bribery leveled against National Council of Sports General Secretary Dr. Bernard Ogwell have been dismissed as defamatory statements aimed at denigrating the institution. This was during a news conference hosted at the council's headquarters in Lugogro.
In a clip doing the rounds on social media, Uganda Netball Federation President Babirye Kito talks of receiving 185 million shillings from government, but told to account for 425.
The statement of bribe in any organization is treated in the highest level of contempt. And in this regard, I want to categorically state that it is an allegation. So in all fairness, I want to make it very clear that what is circulating on the media is distortion and falsehood. You should demand from the president of the federation to produce all the documents, which I will give you a copy, so that he can produce anything to the contrary. This was the budget being referred to in the budget, submitted to us. And the query from the audit perspective, you have asked for 425 million. We have given you 186, and the event took place. You should be able to provide explanation. And this is what is being demanded in accountability. Professional auditors would have a different angle of argument technically.
This has been condemned by National Council of Sports through provision of factual data to dispel a lie that borders on defamation.
This is not the only automatically not be compliant, and their matter has been referred to CID. So for other details on the same, it will be done. I would wish to observe that as part of good government practice, we emphasize to all federations is not to create a situation for council to appear that we are interfering in federation issues when we are asking you to account for the money we have given you.
National Council of Sports calls for proper accountability and governance by federations, but importantly netball, whose in-house wrangles are a cause of concern.
National Council of Sports recognizes the Uganda Netball Federation as elected by the General Assembly held on 5th June 2021 as the only legitimate executive or board for Uganda Netball Federation. Because any other changes that came in a contempt of court. The constitution amendment that happened and ushered in a new executive happened in the time when there was a court order in force.
On a phone call, Uganda Netball Federation President Sarah Kitio says that she is ready to answer any of the issues raised, but in a proper forum. John Barnes, Sentamo, GBC News.
And the Uganda ladies basketball team, the Gazelles, are wrapping up preparations for the FIBA Zone 5 Afrobasket qualifiers, slated for the 14th to the 19th of February this year in Kampala. The 18-member squad currently training at the Lugogo Indoor Arena is focusing on strengthening offense play and maintaining consistency, among other strategies, as they seek their third appearance at the Afrobasket Championship.
After missing out on the previous Afrobasket Championship due to lack of funds, the Gazelles, Uganda's women basketball team, is seeking a comeback in the 2023 edition. However, the team will have to earn its spot through the Zone 5 qualifiers. With less than a fortnight to the FIBA Zone 5 Afrobasket qualifiers, the Gazelle, who are currently training at the Lugogo Indoor Arena, have intensified their preparations to ensure they are ready for the qualifiers.
Right now we have 15 in camp. Obviously we started with 28, so we're down 15. We're expecting 3 more players to come in to make it 18 going into the residential camp, and yeah, obviously at the end of the day you can only use 12 players, so the most important thing is for us to get ready for the tournament. We're also good. We've been working for 3 weeks now, been trying to work on some offensive concepts for the team, which I think are always the toughest end of the game that you need to do well. So that's where our focus has been. Maybe it's because we have a lot of new things we have done for the last couple of weeks, so I don't think we're there yet in terms of making good decisions in different situations, so hopefully that improves before the tournament comes around.
The players are excited to be returning to this prestigious tournament, and with the training, they are confident they will bring a good performance to the qualifiers.
We have a lot of expectations. We expect to qualify, that's one, and that's the main aim, that's the main goal. We all working hard at this. We expect to perform because we need to play at a different level. It has been a while of so many years that we do not qualify for Afro basketball. So this time around we are looking forward to qualification.
I think for the first time we've had training early enough. Usually we train 1 week to the tournament and then we load up. So this time the observation I've had is that we have started early. We've trained almost a month to the tournament, which is a good sign, because now, as you can see, most of the team, the fitness levels we have caught up since we've been off season. So I think we have had concepts that were introduced to us, a lot of offense, but I think the coaches have a plan to do the defense later. For now, we have really been focusing on movement and how to use each piece on the team to make sure that we qualify.
The FIBA Zone 5 Afrobasket qualifiers are slated for the 14th to the 19th of February 2023 in Kampala, Uganda. Grace Joyce Kemgisa and Manzi Daniel, UBC News.
Well, that does it for News Tonight. Thank you for sticking with us. I am Rhoda Ngonzi. Have yourselves a lovely night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Look no further. Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates, and now sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Plus, you can trust Airtel Money to get your money where it needs to go quickly and safely.